There we go. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, oh boy. Hold on, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's me, Tia Rogers, guys. Let me pull my chair over. Wasn't sure how all this was going to work out. I think I shared with you guys I was having some technical issues with the equipment. So I'm just glad to be able to come before you all. How is your week going? We've made it over the hump. We're getting there, guys. Hope your week is amazing. And if you woke up this morning, I hope that you were able to accomplish some things that you set out to do. Oh, Lord, I forgot something. Alrighty. Now let's begin this conversation, right? Let's begin this conversation. Hello, everybody. I'm Tia Rogers. Welcome to the Tammy's podcast. And this week's series is on awareness. And where we dropped off was taking off the single mom badge and discarding it. You no longer need to wear it. I share with you all how I wore the invisible single mom's badge from being a single parent and raising my children alone. And but I had help along the way, but for the most part, I raised them alone. And that makes you, I talked about the feelings that and behaviors that stem from that. Not really being trusting of people around the children, being not trusting, being overprotective, and pretty much having to work around the schedule of the children, right? Hold on one minute, guys. I don't know if you can see me, how clear you are. My apologies for all of this moving around, but I do want you to be able to see me. Okay, yes. Now that looks a little, now I feel like I look a little brighter. Okay, we also talked about, dating as a single mom. I shared my experience of how I took my time in dating, and I had difficulties in my relationship for various reasons, learning how to work through the conflict, learning how to communicate my wants, needs, desires, and as well as communicate how we were going to, do the children. But needless to say, when things don't work, do your best to part as friends and make it amicable and be mature about it for the children's sake, because we are their examples. So that's getting back into where we were with awareness. We were talking about awareness of ourselves. What is our self-image? What do we think about ourselves? What is our life perspective? What is the thought patterns that we have? And how do they guide our actions? I'm asking, do we really know what we want out of life? I know for me, it took a little bit to figure some things out. What I wanted to do, sorry, leaning over, guys, sorry, to figure out what I wanted to do in life, and becoming a mother, really lit the match to the wood, I guess you want to say, or added the gasoline to the fire to get things really going and thinking about how I could become better, to not only provide for my children, provide for me, be able to provide just the simple basics of a roof over our head, clothes on our backs, and food in our bellies. Not nothing really fancy, and if possible, taking a vacation. As time went on through the parenting and working with the children, having the time to be home to nurture and care with them and work with them and reading and try to kind of see, what their interests were, what things that they like to do, basically learn the little people that I have. or had, because they're grown men and women now. But overall, the journey and decision making, because we were talking about shifting the paradigm shift in your mind and your limiting beliefs. And as a single mother, fresh up out of high school, so that means, limited sources of income. And if I did have income, it was minimum wage income due to the entry level of getting into the workforce. Coming up, the thing is, go get a job, go to school, go to work, the ideas of owning a business or becoming your own entity or doing something on your own was not really discussed as an option. But as time went on and through higher education, mingling in different circles, participating in different organizations and trainings throughout the community offered throughout the state of New Jersey, that was offered through employment and different partnerships with the Board of Education. Being an involved parent, I got a broad horizon of experiences that stimulated the thoughts of, I can change. I can change the way my life is. I just have to do what I have to do to get it done. And what was that? I had to figure that out. And my plan was going back to school, continuing my education, because I only had a high school education, working while doing so, and still raising the children. Having hints of thoughts of wanting to do something on a larger scale, but limiting myself to right where I was, focusing where I was at. And I do believe I share with you all how when we're looking at right where we're looking at our present situation. And sometimes looking at your present situation, you can be, it's like a smoke screen, because you can't really see what's there. You see what's there, but you need to look beyond what the present situation to get yourself motivated and going, and realize that it's you that's going to be able to change your life. And how does that awareness and our belief patterns control our actions? Like, how is all that connected? Knowing who we are, what we think about ourselves, how we see ourselves in the world, what our perspective of the world is, and going after what we want in the world. How does that awareness and the combination of our belief patterns show up in our actions and behaviors that we do every day, or don't do every day? And whether you are shifting the mind paradigm, definitely can apply to any area and any aspect of your life, because I talked about how our mind has over 2,000 and some odd thoughts daily, on a daily basis, all the time. The mind is something that doesn't shut off. But there's the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is where a lot of our emotions are held at, where a lot of a lot of the limiting beliefs are. I can't do this. I don't have enough. There's no way I can accomplish everything that I want to accomplish. But when you begin to start changing your mind from thinking that you couldn't do it, or that you're not enough, or you don't have enough, somewhere the desire inside of you to become better, to create a better life, to whether it is to get a better house, a car, a better job, however you define better for you, becoming better in your finances so that you can kind of do what you want to do, not only just pay your bills, but move on and go on a vacation when you want to, or do something with the family at your leisure, at your time. We all would like to have that. And how do we go about getting it? You know, we have to change our mindset and our belief patterns and the action steps that we take. I shared the story with you all how I started here on this platform, and as I was starting out, I researched a lot of things. I've been following a lot of different leaders and things. So I'm a little eclectic because I have a diverse array of, I like to say, education experience, whether it was through webinar or signing up for a course or purchasing a program series to learn. I enjoy learning. And I share with you all too as well that, you know, every day we should learn something new. And how do you feel when you're thinking limiting beliefs, when you're thinking on I'm going to say, okay, positive and negative. We're going to look at positive as the light part of the scale going up. Negative is going to be the heavier side of the scale going down. And if your thoughts are heavy and you're thinking that you can't do it, your actions usually follow through with that. If you're telling yourself, I can't do this, or I can't change, there's no way I could earn this degree, I'm never going to make it through school, you'll never know if you never try. And the only thing that beats a failure is a try. And you'd be surprised how when you try something new and first of all, let's get this clear. When you try something new, please, please, please do not set yourself up for failure thinking that it's going to happen in a quick fashion, because it may not. It depends on you, your discipline and self-control, and your focus as to how the desire of whatever it is that you're going for to improve your life. What's the drive behind it? What's the motivation? What's the movement steps behind it that you're going to be taking? And a lot of it is talking yourself into believing that you have what it takes, whether you do it through meditation, affirmations, prayer. There's all different kinds of ways to do it. Everybody has a different style and way. And to be honest, for me, a lot of ways that I got through things was just simple prayer and reading the Bible until I was introduced to other techniques like exercising, meditating, yoga. Another great experience that I got a chance to experience, but I did not sign up for the class, was the, oh goodness, what is the name of it? I enjoyed the class. Lizard brain. I don't know if anybody, if you know what lizard brain is, please put a comment down in the bottom. But I got a chance to sit in on a webinar for lizard brain, and it was so great. What I loved about that, it took me back to my childhood, where when I was younger, sometimes, I don't know, something kids just do at the time. I didn't think anything of it, but then when I got to experience the webinar for lizard brain, and he broke it down, all the different things of how we need to release certain toxins and negativities from our bodies, and like the vibration of just, freeing ourselves, roaring out loud, yelling out loud, releasing the things that don't serve us anymore, like things that hold us down. Well, long story short, through the webinar with Lizard Brain, I bust out laughing because it made me think about when I was younger. My mother would be upstairs in the house somewhere, I don't know, and I used to go down in the basement and just yell to the top of my lungs. It felt so good to just get it out, but on top of that, it kind of pranked my mom too, and she would come running thinking something was wrong, and then I got a really good laugh. But that, it took me back to that joyful moment, the hearty laugh, the freeness of just being free, worry-free, not worried about anything, because life on life terms is going to happen, and the universe is going to pretty much give you what you're putting out. And if you're telling yourself that you are enough, that you are able and capable of creating and doing anything that you set your mind to. Anything that you set your mind to, and you learn it. If you have to learn it, learn it. Learn the skills, learn the tools, do it. And you'll see over time that you will begin to do it effortlessly. You know, it will just become a part of you. But in that same breath, once you take that first step and you feel the burst of energy and you feel the frequencies, because it's different frequencies, because you're feeling fear, you're feeling excited, you know, you're looking forward to something new. You're not really sure how it's all going to turn out, but you know you're taking the steps to get there. All of these feelings and emotions are going on in you, but it's something that you made a decisive decision to become better in whichever way better is for you, and taking those steps. Would you agree that when you step out and you begin to do something new, within the first 6 months, you pretty much have gotten it down pat, pretty much what you need to know, the basics at least. And then you by 6 months, you're practicing. You're practicing what you're learning, because you have to practice what you learn, because if you don't, then you lose it. Like it's use it or lose it. So you want to use it and get it. And you'll see that your actions and behaviors will change. We went over the 7 levels of awareness, with animal being the first. And what was it? Animal mass. Oh yeah, animal mass, aspiration, individuals, discipline, experience, and mastery. You go from being reactive to being responsive, because now you're utilizing your brain in other areas that is allowing you the time and the process to really look at things for what it is and kind of weigh it out, and then be able to respond to it more so than react to it. Because the best way I can explain it is, for me, when I decided that I was going to go back to school and work and raise the children, I knew the challenges and obstacles I was going to have, because I was already having challenges and obstacles. But I had to do something. So in the midst of going and seeking for it, going and applying for school, applying for financial aid, then taking a test to see if I could even get into school, it was all a process. So none of that stuff happened overnight. So then actually getting into school, having to go and show up to class, participate in the class activities, do the homework assignments, and actually pass the course. And I shared some of the courses that I didn't pass. I had to pay for them. So there's a whole lot of different things, but life is still going on. I'm still a mom. I still have these 2 little people, got to get to school, still got to do homework. And it's so funny, because my mother's mother would always say, you know, you're in school and I bet you're thinking about what's for dinner. Did you lock up the house? Did you do this? And she was right to some extent. You do worry about some of those things, because you're kind of rushing around making the kids, even if you are structured and have little things. Sometimes there's some mornings where you got to get up and you got to just get out, and you ask yourself, did I take something out for dinner? Did I do this? And even though I had those thoughts, I still pushed on, still continued to do class. Even if I failed, I felt as though that at least I tried. You know what I mean? And then when I retook it, I felt a little bit more confident, because I knew some of it. I just needed to work out the formulas and figure it all out. And that's with anything that we do in life, changing ourselves to become better, healthier, to get to after the pandemic, really, like it's a whole lot with trying to keep your mind focused, and to make sure that you're on track. Mental health is a big thing, and it shows up in so many different ways. So, and some of them are settled until like it gets to the manic part. But for the most part, it's usually settled in the beginning and you don't notice it. And then um, you might notice that you're feeling a little different. And if you're feeling a little different, what better way than to pick up a book, read something positive, um, that's going to make you feel good, or if you like to travel, read a travel book, something like that, to relax your mind. Find something motivating to stimulate your brain and get you going. And one thing for sure, I asked you guys, how does your dreams and aspirations impact your life? I'll tell you my dreams and aspirations, because I, I've always wanted to help people, and to be able to actually do the work. I share the journey, raising the children, going through challenges, whatever, um, however that goes. With all the struggle and everything, I look back and some of those days are the best days of my life, even though I might not have been all that well financially. For the most part, we were well, we were good, we were blessed. We had a roof over our head, we had food in our stomach. You know what I mean? We were able to do the basic things, and we're here today and going tomorrow. There's so many things that are going on in the world. And as we're raising our children and the world's changing, and I'm just going to divert a little bit from the topic, if you will allow me the liberty to do so, as we're talking about awareness and all that is going on in the world today, with the decision to do away with, what is it, Roe versus Wade, the abortion rights. Now, to be quite honest and frankly, I don't agree with abortion. However, that's my own personal thing, because I believe that uh, the child is alive from the point of conception. Thus, I have the two children that I have. Um, but I do believe that women should have the right to do what they wish with their bodies, because it's their life that they're living. And no one's going to come and help them raise these children, that they get pregnant with. And pregnancy happens sometimes through consent, sometimes through other very traumatic situations. And I think a woman should have a choice as to whether she wants to bear a child or not. Um, it's her God given right. And living in a world where we already have a high population of children, and foster care systems and different things of that nature, juvenile justice systems, just for whatever reason, our young people, of issues that we already have going on. I just wanted to say that I hope whoever made made that federal decision, that they go back and read and look at it and change that, because you're going to be affecting a whole lot of lives. And for a young woman that may have lost her way and may be under substance abuse and not necessarily want to give birth to a baby that's going to have to struggle in the first hours of their life. She's making a humane choice to not have that baby. But if you take that right away from her, what right does she have? What right does she have? What's the quality of life of her and that child? I just think that this decision is going to harm us more than it's going to help us. Um, and the things that we can do to ensure that young women don't find themselves in a situation where they would have to have an abortion, before it won't be getting pregnant before their time if we educate them on safe sex practices, abstinence, and the proper ways of protecting yourself, to go out here. But nothing is 100% that will keep you from catching any sexually transmitted disease. So having sex should be something that you should seriously consider. But I guess over time, hey, it's just a free for all. People do what they want to do, but it's their life. And I don't think no government or anyone for that matter has the right to tell a woman what to do with her body. And that's just my little take on that part. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. So sorry, guys, as we are crunching down our time. And I'm a little bit all over the place today. So my apologies. So with that being said, talking about the Roe versus Wade, we're going to go into a paradigm. I'm going to define a paradigm for you. A paradigm is a trace to a Greek verb meaning to show. Used in English to mean example or pattern, consistent of the beliefs, values, assumptions, techniques of a discipline, following choosing topics to study and deciding what methods to use to study them in development to explain the outcome. So, through descriptive statistics of a collection, organization, summarization, and presentation of data, it all counts. Yet we have proven study of what works and what doesn't work, characterized by the use of order and planning methodological studies, with a sample data that is neither a complete enumeration of all the possible data. The tool of an act of sorting data, people, objects into distinctive groups with a collection of data or information with no determined order, or is chosen in a way that is unknown beforehand through a distinctive group of individuals, whether a nation or group of people, mean with common characteristics. Our paradigm has been shaped by the social, political, economic circumstances in which we live. Areas of knowledge of history, facts, values, personal, and community problems. We cannot parent our children the way we were parented due to social, political, economic effects over time. American families, persistent challenges and economic disparities, financial measures, and as we are going toward the recovery post the pandemic, leaving most adults reasonably well financially and substantially minority of adults financially vulnerable, whether it's returning to education, having satisfactory housing up to code, safe housing, retirement savings. How many of us have a retirement savings? Are we building towards our retirement? And if we do have a retirement, is it enough to carry us to as long as we live? Our effects. Addressing teen pregnancy is working according to the CDC. The birth rate per 1,000 females aged 15 to 19 years of age shows declining since 2019, a record low for US teens. 4% decrease. It's a 4% decrease from 2018 statistics. 5.2% Hispanic females, 5.8% non-Hispanic white females, 1.9% non-Hispanic Black females. And American Indian, Alaska Natives, Asians, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, rate reports as unchanged. And if you go back to YouTube, I think I did give some stats on all of those teen pregnancy rates, because family over everything is the thing. It's not just what we say, it's really what we do. So 50% teen mothers receive a high school diploma by the age of 22. And 90% who do not have a high grad, and 90% of teen moms who don't have, the teens that don't have children, they have a 90 percentile rate, higher rate of graduation. Sorry, guys. It's important that children of teenage mothers, it's reported that children of teenage mothers are more likely to have lower school achievement, drop out of school, have more health problems, be incarcerated at some time during adolescence, and give birth as a teen, as well as facing unemployment as a young adult. Between 1991 and 2015, teen birth rate dropped 64%, resulting in $4.4 billion in public savings in 2015. So I guess that our efforts to educate our teens on teen pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases, choosing better habits, and sharing information on relationships and what's healthy relationships and what's not healthy relationships, and even discussing unbalanced relationships appears to be working because our birth rates are down. So how does that move in during our work years? Adolescents, I guess they start working about 14. I know I started working at 16. I know I started working at 16. I was a mother by 18, 19. So you got to look at the work years. How are you preparing yourself during your work years? Are you building a financial portfolio as you're going along? Doesn't matter what wages you're earning. Are you able to save? Are you spending less and saving more, and diversifying your savings? Are you knowledgeable? Do you know how to put your money in places where it can grow for you, whether it's a certificate deposit, a mutual fund, a guided mutual fund program? Are you learning about stocks, or do you know something about stocks? Do you have a stock investment? Do you have a 401k? Are you participating in a retirement plan from your employer? Does your employer offer that? Do you have health insurance? All these things we need to look at in the beginning of the work years. And if you're one that kind of caught on kind of late, that's okay. Because I was one, I told you I struggled. I'm not here to sell you no dreams. I'm here to share my story with you and tell you honestly. I struggled. I had to learn how to, open the credit union account and put some money away in the vacation club and the holiday clubs and whatever clubs they have going on there, and start a savings and checking account, as well as, investing in my retirement plan. Through the jobs that I had. I was blessed to work in the medical field. So if you are in the medical field, most facilities and most hospitals do have some sort of retirement plan. So if you young ladies are out there in the field, I know that you can get the hours and you can make pretty decent money there. Still working the long hours is how you get the decent money, but still you make a decent living. So you want to make sure that you are, if you're in a position where you're making pretty decent money, you want to diversify. You definitely want to start your retirement planning as early as possible. 18, 19 is not too young to start. That's the perfect time. You're just getting into the work field. And if you start investing at 18, 19, imagine where you'll be by over time of your work history, by the time you hit 30 or 40. You want to embrace living below your means. A lot of us, we want to be fancy and we want all these things, but in perspective, do you know how much you cost? Do you know how much you cost? Do you know how much it costs to be you? And if you do know how much it costs to be you, and you see that number, how much of that you have are you sharing with others in support? Whether it's your children, your grandchildren, your parents, niece, nephew, the ones that stop by. Hey, I need a couple dollars for this or whatever. Oh, can you help me with this certificate? They're trying to educate. We all want to help the children and our family when they are doing well, and say they're in school and they might need a couple dollars to help them get something to help them achieve what they're going for. Of course, we want to invest in them, right? So we have to also look at those funds too. That's miscellaneous funds that sometimes we don't even think about. Picking up lunch, money that we just take out of our purse, all of that we have to take into consideration. And if we can bring it down low, so we can get on track. If you have debt, you want to pay your debt off. You want to keep it to a minimum as you're growing and diversifying your financial portfolio, because we all have an expiration date, but we don't know when that date is. So we want to prepare. We want to be as prepared as possible, because we want to live. We want to wear that dash out, don't we? I know I do. So these are some tips that I want to give you as we're going along. Just some things for you to think about, food for thought, as we're talking about shifting the mind paradigm. You want to save more for retirement in the right accounts. So if you want, hold on 1 minute. It's a book that I want to share with you guys. Hold on. Sorry, guys. My apologies. I know, terrible, but this is the book. Wait a minute, let me see. How do I do it? Okay, here she go. All right, wait a minute. All right. Susie Orman's book, The Ultimate Retirement Guide for 50 Plus. Definitely a good read. You can pick it up on Amazon.com. You can go to Susie Orman's website. She also has a podcast. If you want to learn more about how to start planning for your retirement, like I said, 18, 19, you're just getting into the workforce. I know you're going to school. If you didn't decide to go to college or to a trade school or something like that, and you're just out there working, that's fine too. But you want to build. You want to be able to build towards your retirement, and you want to start doing that as early as possible, and start diversifying your portfolio. And that book will definitely help you. It has helped me and taught me some things that I needed to know, as well as a few of my friends and family that borrowed the book, and helping them prepare for their retirement. So pick it up. Good read. It would definitely be a required read for all members, because you want to know, you want to set yourself up to win, and you want to set yourself up that as you're going, because life on life terms is going to happen, and you want to make sure that you have a cushion. And I want to make sure that everyone that's coming with me, we're winning, and we're going to be setting ourselves up so that when the storm comes, because storms do come, we know that they don't last long, but storms do come. We want to be able to make it through the storms. So we were talking about embracing living below your means, save more for your retirement in the right accounts. And you want to have a plan to work longer, because like I said, if you're just starting out at 18, you're going to be working much longer than someone that is starting out later on in life, say 30, 40, somewhere up in there, if you're just starting out, you're going to have to kind of double up your retirement plan. You're going to have to invest a little bit more and diversify your plan to get it to do what you need it to do over time for the long haul, for however long you want to go. Have a plan to work longer. Consider your long-term care insurance. Long-term care insurance is going to cover in case as we grow older. And I talk about being a caregiver and and being a caregiver myself, working in the field of caregiving as well as helping others. And you want to make sure that everything's in place, whether you have children or not. Having a good plan, setting your will and trust into place is very good because they're not guessing. Everything is written out. Your wishes will be, written out, and it's there for them to follow during that time. It's a great, helpful piece to have, as well as, it's personal. It's your retirement. And I say that all the time. I say talking about finances is personal, but we cannot not talk about finances because we are, building our lives. We're living in this world, and finances plays a part in that. So we want to make sure that we are setting ourselves up in the best possible way. And I hope that some of this information is helpful to you, or at least providing you an outline to begin your research and start doing what you need to do. If you haven't done it already, or if you have, look at what you have set up and make sure that everything is good moving forward. That's always a good thing. Know where you're at, right? Awareness. First thing, be aware of where you are presently so that you can write down and map out where you're going in the future. Know your expenses. Know what you're responsible for. Calculate your reliable income sources. How many income sources do you have? Are you just working a job, or are you working two jobs? Are you working two jobs and doing a little side hustle on the side, little Uber, Lyft, multiple income streams, technology? Are you a speaker? Are you a photographer? Are you, I know a lot of us, we go to work, we're in the workforce, and a lot of us have other things that we do in our spare time that we enjoy doing, that we profit from. So you want to calculate your reliable income sources. How many do you have? You might want to look at that. Pay your fixed living expenses from guaranteed income you want. Yeah, pay your fixed living expenses for guaranteed income you want. So that's what I mean as far as making sure that you are diversified in your investment in yourself, as well as your retirement, your retirement, and I'm doing too many things at one time. Your retirement, moving forward for your life to live now presently. And I shared with, if the younger you are starting out, the better you're going to be in the long term. So I hope this helps someone today. Learn what immediate income annuities and deferred income annuities are. And like I said, a lot of these excerpts, these topics that I took from this book as I'm reading and just trying to get things all together for retirement, as we are, I know I'm getting closer to it. So I want to make sure that everything is correct. And I just want to make sure that, whoever needs it got everything together. So it's a good book to read because she discussed about the annuities and deferred income annuities. I'm not adverse in those things, and I always advise you, I am not a financial advisor. Should you need financial advisement, please seek a financial advisor, someone that is licensed in doing so. I'm just sharing my story, sharing what I've learned along the way with you, in hopes that you too can start building your life and creating a life that you want to live today for tomorrow, so you can start living that life today. let me see, go over you do your retirement checklist, your retirement checklist. And if you're not close to retirement, if you're young and you're starting out, these are things to think about. Focus your retirement plan on living until at least age 95. It's a long time, right? Not as long as we think. It goes fast. Decide whether a 401k rollover to an IRA account makes sense. That would be in the retirement plan of your job benefits. So if you're working, find out if your job offers benefits. I shared with you guys before, going into the workforce and speaking with some of my co-workers, especially in the beginning, starting out as a young mom, a lot of my co-workers did not take part in the health benefits that's offered through their job. They didn't take advantage of the retirement plans and or stock options that were offered through some of the jobs. Some people did, some people didn't. But I found it to be more so the younger group, because they felt as though that they needed that money in their check. And even though you really don't miss, you can't miss what you don't have. Oh, there's, all right, quick, where do we stop off at? We stopped at the IRA and thing. I have to mark that there for when we come back together. Like I was saying, those, if you are working, check and see if your employer has a retirement plan. Check and see if they have health insurance, if they're offering it. And I know that you may have to pay a deductible, but what you pay for that deductible, you really won't miss that much, or putting in to your retirement plan, because that's money that's going to be working for you. That's health coverage that's going to allow you to see the doctor when you need to see the doctor. And of course, we all know some health coverage, most of them have a copay, and we have to be able to afford that as well. But we're trying to get healthy here. We're getting healthy and wealthy, and we're shifting the paradigm in our minds. We're counseling out limiting beliefs. And I want you to tune in for the next Tammy's podcast so that we can continue talking about how we're aware of our mindset, our health, and our behaviors and actions as we are growing, learning, and healing in the art of investing in ourselves. Have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed, amazing evening, everyone. Take care. Oh, have a great day. Enjoy your week. God bless.